a great day here on the Chundria Show, and I'm excited to have David Patterson as my guest. Hi, David.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I would love to talk to you about a winning start in entrepreneurship, and you are the perfect person to talk to.
I'm excited to have the conversation.
You have your own business called the Patterson Group. Can you tell me
Yes.
about yourself and more about the business?
My business is essentially consulting. I'm a business strategist and financial strategist. Been in financial service for a little over 15 years. Essentially, when I work with individuals, I'm helping them with wealth creation strategies, whether it be in insurance, investments, real estate. May help with some strategic tax planning and things like that.
Okay.
And then also over the years, I've kind of expanded into business consulting and working with small businesses and mid-sized businesses, helping them with their expansion efforts and kind of creating, increasing their profitability. And so the Patterson Group is kind of an overarching company that kind of houses all those services.
And you help businesses kind of launch from inception or idea development all the way through, like,
You know, I used to do a lot of focus on
Sustainability.
inception, but not as much anymore. Actually, you know, as I started kind of building my business consulting career, I start to make a transition to, I kind of give away a lot of that inception coaching for free.
Okay.
And kind of give a lot of value to people who are looking to kind of start a business and get started. But my, paid kind of consulting is more established companies and helping them to kind of take things to the next level.
What sparked your interest in entrepreneurship? I mean, how did you choose your business, or did the business choose you? You've been over 15 years and.
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know if it necessarily chose me, but I chose it when I was pretty young. When I was a child, I had an interest in being an inventor.
Okay.
And I like to kind of put things together and kind of create things and all that type of stuff. And somewhere in my teenage years, as I started feeling like the pressure of not having a lot of money, my family grew up very poor.
Okay.
Moved a lot when I was a kid. Probably moved 12 different times before I turned 18. Went to 13 different schools.
Wow.
And so it was a lot of kind of instability in that respect. And I kind of saw, I had initially kind of created a goal of making a lot of money so I could kind of, have that kind of control back. And as I started to kind of evaluate those different options, I had an uncle who had his own business. And he seemed to kind of have the kind of lifestyle that I wanted.
What kind of business did he have?
He had owned a liquor store.
Okay. Okay, uncle.
He owned a liquor store in LA, on 65th in Vermont.
Okay.
And he had a nice house. He had nice cars. He always had money. He always helped out my family.
He was your inspiration.
All of that. And so I'm like, I wanted to be a business person. And that was kind of like my first kind of thoughts in that process. And as I started to get older, just the idea of being an entrepreneur kind of emerged.
Wow, that is amazing. You assist clients, which is awesome. You help them thrive. We talked about how much you help. Do you help with marketing their businesses as well, or?
My areas will most of the time surround around consulting the CEO or the founder and kind of strategic planning. And then also help with kind of organizational development, making sure you have the right people in the right places, doing lending their talents to helping the company grow.
So if a CEO needs a certain person to help their business grow, do you help them go find those people, or you
I
make a
can.
suggestion?
Yeah, I can help go find those people, or I could just kind of help. It's more just identifying that, hey, we need to separate these duties. We need to have somebody with this skill set to do these things. This is kind of like the personnel that you're missing in order to help the company go to the next level. And then also we'll help with some sales training. We'll also help with real estate acquisition and stuff like that.
Wow, that's really neat. Like, wow, I'm inspired by that. What do you enjoy most about entrepreneurship? Why do you encourage it?
You know what? I like the opportunity for control. I think more than anything else, I have the opportunity, or anybody that's an entrepreneur have the opportunity to control their time, control their income, be able to pursue the things that they want to pursue, get to just have unlimited upside. And for me, I like being creative, and I've just learned to channel that into business. And so it just gives me an opportunity to really be creative and have different challenges to address, kind of use my problem solving skills. And so it's just kind of become something that's fun, is rewarding. I think everybody should pursue the world of entrepreneurship, even if it's not full-time but part-time, because it gives them options.
Especially with all jobs are insecure. You never know when there could be a layoff, a company downsizing, businesses close. So.
Absolutely, the companies aren't the same, aren't the way they used to be. The economy's not the way it used to be. At one point, you can get a job, work there for 40 years, retire with a pension, have Social Security, and you're good, right? Work 9 to 5, and a man, could have a wife that doesn't work and have a home and all that stuff. And those times don't exist anymore. Companies aren't taking care of people for their entire lives. Unless you work for the government, you don't have a pension.
And then people are retiring, and then you don't have enough. So then you're either going back to work into the workforce again, or I don't know. It's really hard for a lot of people.
And a lot of times, companies, they kind of have this relationship with their employees, like, I know you need me. And so you're going to take what I give you, right? You're going to
pay these benefits, this opportunity,
or like I might give you some extra work.
Oh,
right.
And you're going to do it because you need the job.
You need the money. And so by kind of going into the world of entrepreneurship and being able to kind of create another source of income on your own, and kind of give you some options, some flexibility, helps you to kind of save some money and put yourself in a position to be able to kind of create wealth better than just working for somebody else. For the most part, working for somebody else is not going to help somebody become wealthy. They can take that money to invest it, but usually being an employee doesn't teach you the skills for creating wealth. But being an entrepreneur kind of forces you to kind of learn a little bit more about finances and have some discipline, and you kind of learn a lot of those skills. I think to kind of create wealth.
That's very true. What do you consider some of the best kept secrets for launching a new business?
You know what? I think some of the best kept secrets for just being successful in business is teamwork, right? I don't know. The way I grew up, it was a lie that was kind of told to me. I think told to a lot of young people of color that we have to figure things out on our own and pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps and kind of create our own success. And I didn't realize till I got to USC, which was 6% black, mostly white, Asian, people from a lot of different backgrounds, but mostly affluent backgrounds, that the secret to a lot of people's success was teamwork. There was a lot of students who had tutors. Now, they didn't have tutors because they were not getting the information. They had tutors to ensure that they aced all their homework.
Oh, wow.
And to ensure they were properly prepared for their tests. See, I was taught as a kid that, if you're getting a tutor, it's because you're stupid.
You need help. You're slow. You're behind. You're not learning it as quickly, and they're getting tutors to be advanced.
They're getting tutors to guarantee their success. And so one of the things that it took me a while to really get that, but that was my first time I really kind of got exposed to that concept. But the way that we're going to have our greatest amount of success is working with other people, is building a team, is having teamwork, is not trying to do it on our own. And with that is learning how to kind of build relationships.
Which is very common for entrepreneurs, because if you start a new business, a lot of entrepreneurs are just doing everything on their own.
And the fact of the matter is that is not a recipe for success, because most entrepreneurs, they're great at their art. They're great at their craft. They're great at making this cake or creating this nail polish or whatever the case might be.
But the finance part or the marketing or what have you, they don't.
It may not be their strength.
So then that suffers. So
that's probably one of the best kept secrets is teamwork and relationship building is going to make all the difference in the world in somebody being able to successfully launch their business and have their business progress successfully. And outside of that, I would say having good understanding of the financials of your business is the secret to staying in business.
All right. Well, you heard it right here. Last question. What advice do you have for someone who has no business experience whatsoever? Do you feel like there are any books? They can obviously contact you.
Sure.
For consultancy, but are there any books, or where do you start if you have no business acumen whatsoever?
When I was in college, I read a book by the name of Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Are you familiar with the book?
Yes.
And so I fell in love with that book. I read it, pretty quickly, bought it for all my friends and family for Christmas, read the subsequent books. And one of the things I pulled out of that book was if somebody wants to be successful as an entrepreneur, they need to learn how to communicate and they need to learn how to sell. And so at the time I'm naturally an introvert. At the time I was very shy and quiet and kind of afraid to talk to people. And so I made a decision to get into sales, to be able to learn those strategies and learn those skills so I can be a successful business person. So I would definitely suggest that for anybody who wants to be a successful entrepreneur, is to do something that's going to help increase their communication skills. I would encourage people to get into sales at least for a year or two to learn how to take rejection, learn how to present their ideas, learn how to be persistent, learn how to be aggressive and go after what they want. And, learn how to communicate, build rapport with different types of people. But in addition to that, I mean, you can never go wrong with education, whether it be books, seminars, tapes, things like that. But outside of that, the best way that you're going to learn is through action. So you can either work for somebody who's going to give you some good training, intern for somebody who's going to give you some good mentorship, or just kind of go out there and try. Just trial and error.
Fail hard, learn hard.
I mean, hopefully you learn from those mistakes, though, and hopefully you have some people to help.
Sometimes you fail up.
No, most times we fail up. Most times we don't know this. We don't know the pathway to success, and so it's through just taking action and making mistakes and letting these steps forward kind of lead them to success. Honestly, that's the way I've gotten into politics. This is the way I won my election. I knew nothing about politics, nothing about campaigning. I had no background in it at all. I just said I want to get into politics. I made a decision, started talking about it. People started introducing me to other people. I started getting involved in the community, and 11 months later, I was elected.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, congratulations on all of your successes.
I appreciate it.
Continued success on the new election year.
Thank you.
Continued success on your business. Zanita Smith of Color Society and Rashonda Renee of the Innovative Entrepreneurs Hub team up every month to host the Connections Business and Tech Mixer at Mingles T-Bar, and I was truly honored to be their special guest speaker.
Together, we host the Connections Business and Tech Mixer, really providing a platform for business and tech professionals to come together in Inglewood, mix and mingle, and we always have a guest speaker that provides us with some type of knowledge to help us stay focused on business and tech. So today we have Chundria, who's going to be telling us about her business, her journey, her successes, her accomplishments. So Chundria, tell us, what do you do?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
I'd like to first thank Rashonda for inviting me to be the guest speaker today. I'm super excited. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm excited about everything that you both are doing together. This is phenomenal. And I'm excited to connect with all of you here. But I'm a television talk show host. I host my own talk show. It's called The Chundria Show. And I cover lifestyle, health and wellness, in love and relationship topics. And I currently broadcast in about 59 cities across the U.S.
So tell us, when did it start? When did the TV show start?
I started the television show. I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
I've been in LA for 5 years. It's just kind of like this thing that's just been evolving for, I'd say, like the last 7 years, really, in a sense. But I would probably say I really kind of got super dedicated and super serious about it about 2 years ago.
Okay. What sparked the idea? Because I think a lot of times people are sitting on ideas, right? They have like this list of, I can do this, I can do this, I want to start this, I want to start that. So what was your spark to make you say, I'm all in?
Well, my Bachelor of Arts degree is in television production directing. I went to a college in Chicago called Columbia College Chicago. I studied TV, and I never thought I would be in front of the scenes. I was always very serious about producing and directing. That's all I really wanted to do, was just create original content. That's all I planned to do. And then I graduated, and I didn't have that job waiting for me like I thought I would. Like a lot of college grads think that there's going to be this job waiting. And so I started a show just to pad my resume, just to have some experience on my resume, so I wouldn't just be idle and just, and another year had gone past after graduation, and I didn't have an opportunity lined up. So I launched a show where I would go out and do like red carpet interviews, and just so I could have something to edit, something to produce, something to keep it moving. So I would say that's really what sparked the talk show, is really going back to there wasn't enough opportunity for me, so I created it myself.
I love it. My friend and I were just talking about, my friend in Pittsburgh, her mother had Parkinson's disease, and so she created a back brace for people with Parkinson's. So it was out of survival, out of this need. And so she was just here looking for capital for her company to take it to the next level. So she was meeting with some venture capital people. And she was saying a lot of times for minority communities, we do create businesses out of the need, out of survival, and we do that so well, right? And so I heard that in your story, like, nothing was waiting for me, so I created it myself, and now it's a thing.
Now it's a thing.
Yeah, now it's a thing. So tell us how you expanded it to the point of, is it the only thing that you do?
It's the only thing that I do.
Okay, so tell us how you expanded it for it to be the only thing that you do. What were the business tools and tactics and partnerships that you had to form and create
I think it's about creating multiple streams of income within one thing. You know, I believe whether you're living in California, anywhere in the world, you have to have multiple streams of income. You can't just, for me, it can't just be about that one thing. I have a lot of things that I'm a graphic designer by trade, you know, so I was willing to hustle graphic design on the side to be able to fund the show, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was willing to work full time to be able to fund the show. I'm not, you know, I'm not unwilling to do whatever it takes to fund the dream, you know. So yeah, it takes a lot of planning it, whether you're planning an event so that brings in extra income, whether that's offering ad space on your television show or ad space in your souvenir book for exposure. Social media is a huge tool you're offering. I mean, exposure is huge. People pay for exposure. People pay for marketing. That's why there's so many marketing and branding agencies, and if you're able to say, hey, I can get your brand across this many platforms or across my platform, which is, you know, I mean, there are people that are really out here that have huge followings or they have huge platforms, so the money comes, you know, in various ways.
Yeah. So what's your idea with the syndication of it? Did you imagine being in that many cities? Was that a part of the vision? Is that something that just happened?
It's one of those really, it's almost a little scary because I can remember moving here, and at this time I was just in survival mode moving here like 5 years ago, thinking like, I just need to get settled here. I just need to get a job. I just need to get off this girl's couch. I just need to get, if I could just do this, and it always felt like if I could just do this, then I could get to that. You know how you kind of create this little crawl space, like if I could just get here, and then when you get there, you're ready to make the next goal, you know. And long, like way out, I remember like saying like, all I want to do is just get my television show on the air. Like that's all I want. Because I would tell people that I have a show, and that'd be the first question is, where does your show air? It's like, it doesn't air anywhere. Stop asking me that. You know, you know, it can become very frustrating because you know it's the goal that you want. So yeah.
Okay. So you said you focus the show on lifestyle, health, and
wellness and love and relationships.
Okay. So how do people get on your show?
You know what I mean? My guests through. I mean, I used to be so entertainment focused for a long time. I used to cover a lot of red carpet events and, you know, a lot of like celebrity type events or red carpet, whose movie's coming out, who's this, who's that, and I changed my niche to something that I cared about. You know, I did entertainment forever, like who's doing what, who's wearing what, this Oscar event, this that event, you know, and it's like, where do I want to talk about things that I care about. I mean, I'm 37, so it's like I want to talk about health and wellness. I care more about health and wellness at 37 than I probably did at my 20s. So when my demo changed, my niche changed, my interests changed, and then my producing style changed. So love and relationships, I feel like that's something we're all emotionally invested in, you know, in some way. Like whether you're single or married or dating or what have you, we've all dated or involved with someone. So yeah, I feel like those were topics that are important to me, and I found that, you know, the show became more relatable and people latched on to it. So how I find my guests, sometimes I'll do a call out, you know, on social media. Like I'm looking for a fulfill a certain topic. I do have like a space on my website where, you know, I'm always looking for talent or people that are interested in being a part of the show. I may pull from that. It depends on how I produce. I'm open. I'll just say that. I'm always open to ideas. I'm always open to meeting new people, and you know, sometimes I'll be inspired by a segment or my husband and I just did we did a whole half-hour special on like love and relationship topics, you know. So it's just like if I'm inspired by something, then I'll just go for it. Or you never know. I mean, I've met people at networking events. Like, for example, I met a lady. She's an entrepreneur, and she's a mother of 6 children. And she runs her business, she runs her household, she does her thing. And then I'm talking to her at this networking event, and I'm like, wait, you're managing all of that, you know? And then I'm like, she was like, yeah, I was a teen mom, and then I started my business when my daughters were very young. And so on the spot, I was like, ooh, I want you to do a segment called Power Moves for Stay-at-Home Moms. And she comes on my show, and she just poured life into the segment, and she had all these great ideas, like just because you're a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean you can't bring on income, doesn't mean you have to go out and work an 8 to 5. Maybe you want to stay at home, that's the preference, but it doesn't mean you can't bring in income. And she like just shot out all these great ideas. You could do this, you could do that, you could do a car service. You know, there are different companies that you could, you know, sign on to make money. You don't have to limit yourself. And I feel like she just really inspired, you know, single moms, or even not necessarily single, but just moms, period.
Yeah.
Not really necessarily just for single moms, but just moms, period, who may want to not feel guilty about leaving baby at home and making income when you're stuck in that position. You just make it happen.
Where can we listen to your show?
The website would probably be the best place to start. It's just chundriashow.com. My name is spelled Chundria show.com. I have a broadcast schedule on there. It'd probably be easiest just to find out, you know, if I air in your city, and I'm working hard every day to increase that number. And, you know, ultimately, I would love to be internationally syndicated. I would love for a network to pick up my shows. Pick me up. Pick me up. But until then, I'll just keep running along.
So I know a lot of people want to learn the skills that you have. Do you mentor people? Do you take internships at your company?
I don't take internships, but I do have a number of young ladies. Not that I'm against young men, but it just has happened that who's reached out to me. But I have a number of young ladies who have reached out to me about mentorship. Asking for advice on launching their own program. I would love to, in the future, maybe in the summer, as I branch out and start to do more within the show. Because right now it's been like a lot of talking heads, interviews, but I plan on doing, like this summer, I'll be doing more like dating. I'm going to be setting people up on blind dates.
So you must have started with your seed funding. How long it took you to break even before you actually got the money?
If you think about it, like maybe after doing it, maybe consistently, maybe about a year.
A year.
Because you're spending money out, you know,
Yeah.
to produce your own content. But I mean, if you have your own equipment, that's like your budget is completely cut down. I mean, and thanks to that good old Columbia College education, I can write it, direct it, produce it. I mean, I was able to just
That was possible for you.
do it all. But I could just imagine trying to put a project together and you don't have your own equipment. Maybe you don't have Final Cut Pro. You know, maybe you could write it, or you could produce it, or you could get the guest, but you can't shoot it without paying somebody. You can't edit it yourself. And editing is a long process. There is no like, oh, let me just do a quick edit for 2 minutes and then it's done. That's a long. People that edit deservingly want money. So yeah, it takes time, but I think in my favor it worked out well because I don't even still have a lot of overhead. So at this point, anything that's coming back to me is plus.
So what was first? The money came first or the viewership came first? How we
Viewership always comes first because
Yeah.
it's so much easier to get viewership. You know, I mean, we have so many platforms. YouTube's already booming. You got IGTV. I mean, you know, the digital lane is like amazing. You know.
Any other questions?
Yes. When did you know that you had a passion for what you were doing?
When it got hard, I didn't give up. That's how for me. That's when I knew that no matter how frustrating or when I didn't see the results, I still kept trying. And generally, when you're not very passionate about something, even if you give it your all, you like, hey, you know, I did 6 months of that and it didn't work out. No, I did 6 months of that and it didn't work out. I'm just gonna move on. And sometimes that's okay. Like if you're not passionate about something and you try it for 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, and it just doesn't work, and you like, you know what? This is my lane right here. This is where I want to be. And you may be very successful in that, but for me, I knew because I could not. I would not. I still won't stop until I'm internationally syndicated.
Any advice for business owners?
Don't give up. If it gets hard, don't give up. If you lose passion, or be okay with trying new ways to do things. Tap into your resources without feeling like somebody's gonna take your stuff. If you're worried about somebody taking it, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. Sometimes I hear people like, I don't want to protect this, or I don't want anybody steal this idea. I mean, unless it's like a film, like anything. I would probably say like 90% of any ideas we have. There's so much stuff out there already. Like, just do it. Don't worry about like what somebody else is doing. So my advice would just be to just keep going. Like, I mean, I know even the strongest of us can feel doubt sometimes or feel like, am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my money? Am I wasting my energy? You're not, because if you still think about it when you get up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, and that thing is still right there, it's meant for you to do.
I love it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us and expertise. So tell us what your website is so we can watch.
My website is chundriashow.com. That's CHUNDRIA, the word show.com is my website. And I'm on all social platforms. My favorite is Instagram, so if anybody's on Instagram, please follow me and I'll follow back.
What's your handle?
At Chundria TV, CHUNDRIA TV. And
Good. What can we expect from the next episode?
next episode is the one I did with my husband Ty. We came up with 4 relationship topics. We talked about being friends with exes. We talked about competing in relationships. We talked about dating in the digital world. Like, is it like there's these rules like you better post me, or you better make it Facebook official, or if the person doesn't post you, does that mean something? So we talked about. We had a really great conversation, and he's a great speaker too. So we just got down in it. And it was great to disconnect from what I normally do on the show and just sit down and just talk.
Yeah.
That's what's coming up on the next episode.
Sweet. Well, catch Chundria on Instagram or her website. Send her good vibes. Expect good things. Thank you so much for joining us for our mixer. We do this every month. If you have any ideas for speakers that you want to see, feel free to let us know. We'll give them a call. We'll have them up here. Again, my name is Zanetta Smith. I am the founder of Color Society. And then again, this is Rashonda Renee. She has Innovative Entrepreneurs Hub. Would you like to say anything?
So Innovative Entrepreneurs Hub is a business development, business training company, but we also have a shared workspace. So the shared workspace is for small businesses, entrepreneurs to be able to come and use that hub as their foundation. If they need a place to work, whether it's weekly, monthly, we have memberships based on that. And we definitely love to invite you guys out. I have some cards over here for you to take, for you to know where we're located, and then to also follow us on social.
Thanks for watching. Visit us online at chundriashow.com.